My dear brothers and sisters, imagine for a moment a world long before ours, a world where the stars whispered secrets to beings we cannot yet fathom. What if millions of years before humanity's first breath, another civilization walked this earth, leaving echoes in the stones and the winds? This is not mere fantasy, but a question that stirs the soul. Could God's creation hold mysteries far older, far wiser than we dare to dream? Let us embark together on a journey, not to unravel every secret, but to stand in awe before the vastness of His design. In the book of Genesis, we read that God created the heavens and the earth and all that dwells within them. Yet, the scriptures do not confine His work to our brief moment in time. Our planet, this sacred cradle of life, has spun through the cosmos for over 4 billion years. Humanity, in all its wonder, has only known it for a mere 300,000 years. Could it be, my friends, that in the eons before us, God's hand shaped others, beings of intellect, of purpose, of communion with the divine? The psalmist sings, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of His hands." Might those skies have witnessed civilizations now lost to us, their stories buried in the depths of time? Let us ponder the ancient stones that speak to us still. Across the world, from the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of Cambodia, from the sacred sites of Peru to the distant shores of Easter Island, we find structures that defy explanation. These are not mere piles of rock, but marvels of precision, stones fitted so tightly that not even a blade of grass could slip between them, crafted without mortar, without the tools we might expect. How did our ancestors, whom we imagine as simple gatherers, raise such monuments? The Pyramid of Chichen Itza in Mexico, the tomb of Pharaoh Djoser in Egypt, the sanctuary of Angkor Wat in Cambodia all share a harmony of design as if guided by a single, unseen hand. Could these be the fingerprints of a forgotten people, a civilization touched by knowledge we have yet to reclaim? As we reflect, let us turn to the wisdom of humility. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus reminds us, "Ask, and it will be given to you, seek, and you will find." To seek is not to demand answers, but to open our hearts to mystery. The stones of these ancient places challenge us to ask, were our forebears alone in their labors, or did they inherit wisdom from a time before? The similarities in their craft, across oceans, across centuries, whisper of a shared legacy. Perhaps, in God's providence, a civilization flourished, its light shining briefly before fading into the earth, leaving only these silent sentinels to testify to its existence. Let us now journey to the ancient Indus Valley, a land where the echoes of a forgotten people still resonate. In the year 1829, an explorer named Charles Mason uncovered the ruins of Harappa, a city so meticulously planned that it humbles even the architects of our time. Its streets ran straight as arrows, aligned with the cardinal directions, a testament to a mind that sought order in the chaos of existence. But what truly sets the city apart is its mastery of water, a gift so sacred that Scripture itself speaks of it as life. "Whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst," says the Lord in the Gospel of John. In Harappa, every home seemed to hold its own pool, sealed with resin, fed by pipes, and cleansed by a drainage system that rivals our own. How could a people, thought to be primitive, wield such knowledge? Were they guided by a wisdom older than we know, a spark of divine ingenuity passed down through the ages? Consider, too, the tools they must have used. Iron, we are told, was unknown to most ancient peoples, yet the Indus Valley's builders crafted with a precision that suggests otherwise. In the book of Proverbs, we read, "The Lord's works are marvelous, beyond our understanding." Could it be that these works, these pools, these streets, were not merely human endeavors, but the fruit of a civilization that walked closer to the mysteries of creation? As we ponder this, let us hold fast to humility, for as St. Paul writes, "We see now as through a glass darkly. The truth lies beyond our grasp. Yet the questions themselves draw us nearer to God's heart." Now let us turn our gaze to Egypt, to the sands of Saqqara, where the so-called Serapeum lies hidden. Here, archaeologists uncovered granite boxes, vast and heavy, their surfaces polished to a smoothness that defies the tools of their time. These were crafted, we are told, in the 18th dynasty between 1550 and 1300 years before Christ. Yet, the Egyptians of that era worked with copper and stone, not the iron or steel needed for such precision. The walls of these boxes are thin, their angles perfect, and upon them strange marks, grooves that mirror the work of modern drills. My dear friends, does this not stir your soul? Could these be traces of a people who knew more than we credit them for, who perhaps received knowledge from a civilization long vanished? In the book of Ecclesiastes, we are reminded, there is nothing new under the sun. Might these marks be echoes of a technology that once flourished, only to be lost in the tides of time? As we stand before these mysteries, let us not rush to judgment, but listen with open hearts. The prophet Isaiah calls us to seek the Lord while he may be found. To seek is to question, to wonder, to marvel at the vastness of his creation. These granite boxes, these ancient grooves, challenge us to consider. Did another society, perhaps far older than Egypt, share its wisdom with those who came after? Or were the Egyptians themselves heirs to a legacy we have yet to uncover? The answers elude us, but the questions draw us deeper into the mystery of God's plan, where every stone, every mark, is a verse in the eternal poem of creation. Let us now step back and ask a bolder question. What would become of our own civilization if we were to vanish? The towering cities we build, the machines we cherish, would they endure as signs of our presence? Two wise voices, astrophysicist Adam Frank and climatologist Gavin Schmidt, have pondered this. They tell us that in just 10,000 years, our cities would crumble, our skyscrapers reduced to scattered boulders, covered in moss and forgotten. Even the plastic we leave behind, so enduring in our eyes, would fade under the sun's rays and the work of unseen creatures. In the Gospel of Luke, Jesus says, "The things that are seen are temporary, but the things that are unseen are eternal." How fleeting, then, are the works of our hands? If our own legacy would vanish so quickly, how much harder must it be to find traces of a civilization that thrived millions of years ago? Yet the earth itself bears witness. Frank and Schmidt urge us to look not for ruins, but for subtler signs, changes in the soil, in the air, in the very crust of our planet. Any advanced society, they say, would have needed energy just as we do. Whether they burned wood, coal, or oil, their work would have left marks, chemical traces, perhaps radioactive elements in places they should not be. In the book of Genesis, God entrusts the earth to our care, but also to those who came before us. Could their industries, their fires, have altered the world in ways we are only beginning to understand? In northwest India, near the ancient city of Mohenjo-Daro, archaeologists found a layer of radioactive ash, a puzzle that defies explanation. Stones there appear melted, as if touched by a heat beyond imagining. 1,500 degrees, a fire no ordinary flame could kindle. What caused this, my friends? Was it a natural event, or the remnant of a civilization's power, its triumphs and its tragedies? As we reflect on these findings, let us hold them gently as we would a fragile scroll. The Mahabharata, an ancient epic of India, speaks of a blinding explosion, brighter than 10,000 suns, that scorched the land and left survivors scarred. These words, written millennia ago, echo the horrors of Hiroshima, a wound our world still bears. Could such a story preserve the memory of a cataclysm, a moment when a civilization reached too far, too fast? The Book of Wisdom warns us, pride goes before destruction. If such a people existed, their knowledge may have been their glory and their downfall. Yet, in God's mercy, their story was not the end, for He continues to weave new threads into the tapestry of creation, calling us to learn from those who came before. Let us now dare to imagine a world even stranger, a world where the very foundations of life as we know it may have been woven differently. 4.5 billion years ago, when our Earth was young, its skies were choked with vapors, its surface scarred by fire and stone. No creature we recognize could have thrived in such a crucible. Yet, could it be that God, in His infinite creativity, fashioned beings unlike us, beings not of flesh, but of crystal, of mineral, of forms we cannot yet comprehend? In the book of Job, we are asked, "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? These words remind us of our smallness before the vastness of creation, urging us to consider that life may have taken shapes beyond our imagining. Max Bernstein, a wise servant of science at NASA, has pondered such possibilities. He suggests that in those primordial days, a civilization of sentient crystals might have flourished, growing layer by layer, passing knowledge without the need for flesh or blood. Picture it, my friends, a network of shimmering minerals, each fragment carrying the memory of its whole, much like the mustard seed of which Jesus speaks, small yet holding the promise of a mighty tree. Such beings would leave no bones, no cities, only the silent testimony of the earth itself. If they existed, their story is written in the rocks, in the very atoms of our world. The psalmist sings, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it." Could this earth have cradled such a society, its traces now dissolved into the dust of ages? As we ponder this, let us not close our hearts to the strangeness of God's creation. The Apostle Paul tells us in Romans, "Oh, the depth of the riches of the wisdom and knowledge of God! How unsearchable his judgments and his paths beyond tracing out." To seek these ancient ones is not to doubt, but to marvel. If crystals could think, could commune, could build, they would have done so in harmony with the world God gave them. Yet, their absence from our records reminds us of our limits. The earth is vast, and we have explored but a fraction of its depths. Like the disciples on the road to Emmaus, we walk beside mysteries our eyes not yet open to their fullness. Let us walk humbly, trusting that God reveals what we need in His time. Now let us turn to a kingdom closer to our own, yet no less astonishing, the world of fungi, those quiet architects of life. In the year 2000, a Japanese scientist, Toshiyuki Nakagaki, placed a humble mold at the entrance of a maze with a sugar cube at its end. To his amazement, the mold did not wander blindly but sought the prize with purpose, threading its delicate filaments through the labyrinth, turning back from dead ends, and enveloping the sugar in triumph. This, my friends, is no mere plant, but a creature of intelligence, a silent symphony of life. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus teaches, "Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow." If lilies reflect God's care, what then of fungi, which weave networks beneath our feet, connecting forests, cleansing soils, even consuming the wastes of our making? In Chernobyl, where the scars of human error linger, fungi have been found that feed on radiation, purifying the air around them. In the Amazon, others devour plastic, turning our refuse into nothingness. These are not accidents, but signs of a creation that adapts, that heals, that endures. Scientists tell us that within a single pinch of soil, 8 kilometers of fungal threads intertwine, a network so vast it mirrors the internet we have built. The book of Sirach proclaims, "The Lord created all things, and to those who fear Him He gives wisdom." Could it be that millions of years ago, a civilization of fungi ruled this earth, not with cities or machines, but with a quiet intelligence shaping the world in ways we cannot fathom? Their mycelium, a web of life, may have linked continents, shared knowledge, and vanished without a trace, leaving only their descendants to whisper their legacy. As we reflect on this, let us ask, are we so certain that intelligence must resemble our own? The dinosaurs, those mighty creatures of old, challenge our assumptions. For years, we thought them brute beasts, their brains no larger than a walnut. Yet, recent discoveries reveal a different truth. The Maiasaura, a gentle giant, returned each year to the same nesting grounds, guarding their young with care, dividing tasks among their kin. The Trudon, small but cunning, may have tamed its larger cousins much as we herd cattle. In the book of Genesis, God creates every living creature, each according to its kind. If birds, with their tiny brains, can outwit us, why not dinosaurs whose neurons burned with a brilliance we are only beginning to understand? Consider the crow, which steals with cunning, or the parrot, which speaks with intent. These are the heirs of dinosaurs, their small brains dense with connections, their actions rich with purpose. The prophet Jeremiah reminds us, "The Lord is good to those who seek Him." To seek the truth of these ancient ones is to honor the Creator who made them. Could the Trudon have built a society, not of stone, but of instinct, of community, of survival? Their fossils are not silent. They sing of a world where intelligence took forms we cannot yet name. As we stand before their bones, let us not judge, but listen, for in their story we glimpse the boundless creativity of God. My dear brothers and sisters, we have journeyed through the mysteries of our earth, from the stones of ancient builders to the crystals of a forgotten dawn, from the webs of fungi to the minds of dinosaurs. What do we learn from this pilgrimage? That our world is vast, its history deep, its secrets many. The book of Proverbs teaches it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, to search it out is the glory of kings. We are all kings in this quest, called to seek, to wonder, to love the creation entrusted to us. Whether these ancient civilizations existed or not, their possibility humbles us, reminding us that we are but stewards of a story far greater than our own. I invite you now to pause and reflect. What do you believe? Could our earth have harbored others before us, their lives a hymn to the Creator? Share your thoughts, your dreams, your questions in the comments below. If this journey has stirred your heart, let others walk it too. Share this video, spread its message, and let us together seek the truth in love. Like this video if it has moved you, for in doing so, you join a community of seekers bound by wonder and hope. May God bless you, guide you, and fill you with His peace as you ponder the mysteries of His creation.